Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. It's the blackest of the black, signing black in and shining again, asking you to hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. You saw the title, so let me get right to it. Because of you brothers, I ain't even talking about necessarily white guys, but because of you brothers, red pill bruhs, June bugs, you shines. I shouldn't say June bugs. Those are, June bug means a non-thinking, Pookie Ray Ray type nigga. No, you shines. You experts in what you do. You thinking black men who bring polish to multiple situations, who are also red pill aware. You have actually helped some men in other countries to understand what they're dealing with. You really have. You've made it such that these men have a higher chance of not being tricked and duped as their women become westernized. I had another conversation with my buddy from Malaysia. Through this conversation, he realized something. He dealt with two women that got disrespectful in a row in a country where that's actually rare. Now, the westernization aspects, that's not necessarily very rare. Some of them are not. The materialism is not quite rare there, and women wanting to go to concerts and things that are not family friendly, that's not so rare, but the outright disrespect is rare. He had to deal with that, the cheating, the disrespect, and then he had to deal the second time with not cheating, but being disrespected when she would have these fits of pain because of an illness from which she suffered, and they weren't even married yet. He said, this ain't gonna work. So now he's discussing marriage with a lady that's actually a family friend. She's related to his brother's wife. They met each other, but they have recently been able to get to know each other better. And because she comes with good good character references from people he trusts, there are many people that do know both of them, and they've said, nah, yeah, he's a good character, she's a good character. They're going to go ahead and proceed. Now, in a conversation that he and I had, in which he realized that the disrespect was actually probably less rare than what he thought, although it's still not common enough to where everybody in the country is talking about it, he said, I think I need to tell the other men here in this country about this. I think they need to know how far it's gotten, that it's not as rare as what we thought. I'm going to let them know so that before it actually gets to where everybody's talking about it, I will start us talking about it. I will do that. Now, I don't know if he's going to do it through a blog or what. I recommend it. I'm going to recommend he do it through a blog or a YouTube channel, but I'm going to recommend that he use some sort of social media to take this thing to the court offensively. No defense, no waiting until you're attacked. Start to attack the westernization and the thoughtification of the women there before it gets too bad. Put a stop to it early. Hell no. You're not going to bring feminism and hypergamy to us. You're not even going to bring any more materialism than what we can afford. And men, don't chase them, don't try to pursue them. If you like them, talk to her and her father, see about a marriage. If she or he starts asking too much, bounce, go to the next one. The minute that this becomes the reaction every time they do this stuff, they'll quit doing it. You brothers contributed to this. You didn't mean to. You weren't aware of it, but you did. If it's not going to be him that does it, it'll be someone else. I'll do my part to make sure of that. And I am doing this for religious reasons, enjoining the good and forbidding the bad. Feminism, not women's rights, not equality, let's say equal treatment or equitable treatment. These things are not wrong, but feminism as what it has become is bad. Chauvinism is bad. Marriage with respect is good. Now, that being said, I know some of you would say, well, we don't really care. I mean, they ain't black folk, what they got to do with us. Let me tell you straight up. White supremacy is international. Colorism is international. They're not completely global, though, because not everybody is our enemy. As I've said before, there are a few groups of people that are not our enemies, and it is perfectly okay to do nice things for them. It's not stupid. You're not kissing ass because they're not your enemies. I didn't say that we're helping Europe. They're too far gone anyway. F them. I didn't say we're helping Australian men, meaning white Australian men. I didn't say anything like that. I'm talking about helping a group of men in a country that has never had issues with any of us, with one exception being a nationality because of how they act, not because of what they are. Got it? Next. It is true with some guys, especially a lot of black pill men, say that hypergamy is everywhere and that Maria and Maylene will cheat on you as soon as they find a richer guy or a taller guy, same way. That's true that the hypergamy is everywhere, and it is true that the instincts may be the same. However, let me tell you what's not true. Feminism is not the case everywhere. There are Maylings that'll cheat on you. They also understand that when you catch them, they lost you and they're not getting anything else out of you. There are Marias that'll cheat on you. They also understand when they get caught, they've lost everything from you. They better get out all of it from the next guy. And if the next guy knows she was cheating on you with him, he has less incentive to give her. Do you understand now? It is still worse in the West, maybe not because of nature, but because of nurture. Whatever the case is, if you go into Colombia and you call up this girlfriend you got there, hey, baby, I'm in town, and you find her with another dude, it's probably only because her assumption is he's not in town, it's not his turn. When he comes back, it's his turn. You arrived before she knew it. She didn't know to make it your turn only. Nothing personal. Not that I'm promoting it, I'm not. But I'm just saying that it's not necessarily because of disrespect, hatred, or looking down on you per se. But when you commit to a Western woman in a committed relationship or even in a marriage, there is a high chance she's going to cheat. The chances of her cheating are higher than the chances of you cheating. While she's talking that feminist stuff. Do you understand what I'm getting at now? This being said, it is true that the nature is the same, but the outcomes are not the same because the West is skewed worse than other places. And in the West, you can marry her. She cheats on you. You provided and did everything. She cheats on you because of the lifestyle that you gave her and afforded for her solely from your income for all these years. She can then take you to court, initiate the divorce after she's cheated on you, take you for half, and then spend your alimony on some other guy. That's what she's able to do. That's exactly what Nicole Brown Simpson did. And that's why I don't particularly care about the fact that she got taken out. I don't care. I think it was O.J.'s son myself based on what the detective said. It's just a speculation. I'm only going off what they said. So I would say that until further evidence of something more compelling comes up, I'm going to say, okay, it was probably O.J.'s son. However, maybe it was O.J. I don't care. The law was wrong. You don't take a man's money and then turn around, take his money, give it to her so that she can spend it on exactly the kind of man she would not have considered before she had this free money. If she had to earn that money herself, she would not have been spending it on Ron Goldman. I don't wish that he had killed her. I wish that he simply had not had to pay the alimony and for her to go turn around and spend on him. Ron Goldman got exactly everything that a guy could want. A buxom blonde with somebody else's money to spend on him while he's tapping that. That's exactly what he got. OJ spent money, his own money, to maintain her and give her a new body that she turns around and then gives to Ron Goldman for free, and she gives him money. And that's all because of the way that the law is set up. This is what they can do to you in the West. And if you're taking care of them like a responsible husband, that's exactly what they will do. So you're supposed to take care of them anyway, but in payment for taking care of them, you get cheated on, then taken for half. Not even child support that we're talking about yet. We're talking alimony, just alimony that she's going to spend on a younger guy. But when you were that age and you didn't have the money that you later had, you could not have expected a woman with a brand new body that was bought and paid for to turn around and give that to you for free, then give you money. You could not have expected something like that, but now you got to sit up and pay her to pay him at the request of a court. Are you effing kidding me? It's still a worse deal in the West, and any country that joins them in those laws is also a bad deal. So don't sit up and say that because human nature is the same, the situations are automatically the same. That's not the case. You may very well find certain things, certain instincts to be universal, yes, but you're not necessarily finding the same outcomes. That's not the case. See, here where I live, there's child support, but there ain't no alimony. As a matter of fact, child support usually does not have to go through a whole lot of enforcement because actually the fathers are allowed custody past a certain age. That's the truth of the matter. Now dad gets custody. If he wants to remarry, he can. The new wife is not responsible for taking care of the kids because they're not her kids. However, he has the custody. Now, he's to take care of his new wife and to take care of his kids. But if she don't want to stay in that situation, bye. He's not responsible to take care of her anymore because he ain't tapping that no more. That's it. That's where I live. And it ain't necessarily that great here either because these women are taking on these Western ideas. And I'm not going to counsel or let these men know what to do the way I did with my buddy in Malaysia. You know why? Because of their relationship to not only black people, but to everybody. They don't hate us even here, but because they forget how equal we are, I'm not going to help them. And because the Bedouin thinks he knows everything. The Bedouin will take his butt to a jungle that he's never been in before, and he encounters an old gorilla, and he's going to try to teach that old gorilla how to live in a jungle. That's the Bedouin. It's not hateful, but they're arrogant as hell. If I say to you, if she combines feminism and hypergamy, you're going to wait for me to finish that sentence, then respond. If I say that to a Bedouin, I kid you not, I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating. If she combines feminism with hypergamy, the Bedouin's going to interrupt before I get to the second half. I kid you not. They don't listen to people that are not them that well. They don't hate you. They'll invite you for dinner. But you teaching them? No, that's a hard thing to do. They ain't ready for that. You're not them. You're different. You sound different. And you're going to tell them something they didn't know? No. They hang out with you for prestige. They don't hang out with you to learn. That's real. And God forbid you try to teach them something they did not know about their own religion. Even if you got the sources to back it up, God forbid that. That's why I love doing it, but these men are going to go through it here because they're women already getting westernized in all the worst ways. And yet and still, these women are combining hypergamy with feminism. Now, they're a lot nicer about it. So far, but they're combining hypergamy with feminism. They're not raising their voices and disrespecting their husbands, but they ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't washing dishes, they ain't washing clothes. They're not doing any of that stuff. You got to get a maid for these things or a chef. Go to the restaurant and bring the food back. But they're not mean to you about it. That's probably the only reason that marriage has survived here. But am I going to help them? No. Let them go through it. But what I want you brothers to do is one thing only that you have not done. You have been helping, and ironically, you're helping the men who are the most deserving of your help because they already don't hate you. They respect you as equals. These are the men you're helping. So that being said, now that we know that, I want you guys to do one thing only, and that is do it more intentionally, less accidentally. That's it. Let these guys know. Because if you let them know they had this stuff off at the pass, this works for both of us. They don't have to suffer the feminism of the women. And you don't have to suffer the feminism combined with hypergamy when you land over there. That's how it works. Because these nations got plenty more women than they do men. The local men can find some, and you can find some, believe you me, in the areas that I'm talking about. When it comes to India, let the feminism make its way there. Let it happen. Let the men suffer because they didn't respect you as equals anyway. Let them deal with this. Besides, it's the rape capital of the world. So let the men and the women be at odds with each other over there. It does not harm black people that their population dwindles because of how they view us. Same thing in Pakistan. Same over here where I am. Same with the Persians and the Afghans. They want their women become westernized. Let them. Let their women go and bother them with hypergamy and feminism combined and do to them what Massa's wife, Miss Ann, has been doing to Massa for now, which is driving him, ironically, into Southeast Asia. And don't get it twisted. Some of these cats are going into Southeast Asia as well. But you know what, though? The women ain't taking to them. If they're paying to play, looking for girlfriends or looking for wives, the women do not take to these men as readily. You are still a very difficult man with whom to compete. When you go, you just have to go to these areas to find out, because as long as you're in the West and you got to deal with the wicked witch of the West, you don't have enough money to compete. Doesn't matter that Massa robbed you or Massa's granddad robbed your granddad, and that's why it is that. No. You don't have enough money to compete in the West. But when you go over there, you got enough to compete in the pants and in the pockets. That's the way they see it, and not. But more importantly, is the way that their experience being around you. They report that number one, you tend to smell better, you treat them better, you know how to have more fun. You're masculine without being disrespectful. These are the things that they say about you. Not about me. They don't know I'm black. They're saying this about you, bruh. You with the melanin, right? They're saying this about you with the 4C hair, with the full lips, with the full nose. They're saying this about you. They're not saying this about me, even though I'm black. When I was there in Malaysia, I didn't get stared at a whole lot. Brothers actually looked at me more than anybody else did. Now, I was there with my wife. That's the other thing. But if she turned around tomorrow and said, you know what, black, I don't want you no more, and I went back to Malaysia, I'd be stared at a little bit more by the ladies, not so openly, but let me put out an ad on a matrimonial site or go to an imam and tell him I'm ready to get married. Let me do that and watch what happens. Watch what happens then. Oh my God. And I know because somebody tried that on my behalf, and by the time he sent me the login and password that he had set up, which I didn't know about until he told me. By the time he told me about it and I logged in, the account was about half hour old and I already had about 30. This is an average of 1 a minute. Matches. They were sending me stuff. I had to cancel the account because at that point I already knew that I was considering marrying my wife now. But he set it up for me and proved it to me. And I was like, oh my God. They're on me like them women were on Jason Roger Pope in South Carolina. So you've had a good influence abroad that you did not know about. Now I'm only asking you to do so intentionally, and thank you for listening. I greatly appreciate that. I mean that from the bottom of my black heart and the depths of my black mind. The blackest of the black. Sign a blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black male power, just because Bonquisha, Miss Ann, and Master Charlie don't like it. P.S. There's one more thing I forgot. The other positive effect of what you are doing is you are drastically reducing, if not preventing, the need for dating coaches in some of these countries. The countries who actually most deserve to not have to deal with them. You will be saving from them if you continue doing what you're doing, especially so if you start doing it more intentionally. Thanks again. Sign of Black out, Black Male Power, Assalamu Alaikum.